Oh, it's going
professional.
live. It's going live. It's going live. Sorry. I pushed the button.
Oh, the dang button.
Everybody's going to see this part. Hello,
That's all right.
everybody.
Hey, guys.
Welcome. Like, it's still loading. So I need to make sure I turn on the volume because it's going to be blasting my ear.
Okay.
Sorry. I was trying to be on time.
No, I love it. I'm so proud of us.
Okay, it's already muted. So let's do this.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I do need a light so I can read my notes like this. Okay, here we go.
All right. She's in the dark.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Very excited about our topic tonight that we're discussing because I have wasted a lot of hours on this very topic.
Hours and Monday.
And it's funny because you and I have like the same experience, I think, with this. Like I've heard from some YouTubers who are like, I don't pay for anything and I just use exactly what I have. And I'm like, I want to be like you. But it's hard for me.
Yeah.
I want all the things.
Girl, who have you come across that? Like
I've come across a couple.
Big YouTubers or like people in the smaller YouTube space who just use what they have?
I think a little of both. I've like, it's Naya who we just watched that video a couple of weeks ago, and like however many, she still films her videos on her iPhone 6, or she did as of like 6 months ago.
Okay.
So that's an old iPhone.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You know?
I'm sorry. I think for me, should we introduce the topic before we get too deep?
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and tell them what we're talking about.
All right. So do you want to introduce it or you want me to introduce it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Today, we are going to talk about what you really need when you are starting a YouTube channel, as Sarah and I are getting ready to dive into. We're about to spill all the tea. We invested in a lot of stuff. For me, I invested in so much stuff before I even started my first YouTube. Like before I even edited and published my first YouTube video, I had already spent too much money. And the sad part is that as a mom, I think if you're a mom trying to create content around your life and children, I think we just have different criteria that we need to be aware of, that maybe some of the bigger YouTubers who give advice on this, maybe they don't take into consideration. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is what you need to start a channel, like what you actually need to just have really nice, clean content. And for those of you who are also on a budget, we're going to talk about how you can also do that from a budget friendly perspective. And I don't know, you might be surprised. You might find that our recommendations and the budget friendly options in a lot of cases are the same. So you definitely want to like stay tuned so you guys can hear our recommendations. But Sarah, you were saying, we were talking about kind of like how we both kind of fell into the trap of feeling like we needed all this stuff before we started. Like before you, like, where did you get your information? Like when you were trying to decide like what was essential? Number one, where did you get your information? And then number two, like, what did you have? Like, what did you already invest in before you like published your first video?
Okay, so I invested in nothing when I first started publishing. I had an iPhone, whatever was current at that time, and it took really good videos, and I really didn't have the money. I just kind of acquired pieces along the way. But as far as like who I looked to for what supplies I needed, I just went on YouTube and I was like, what do big YouTubers use for their channels? And I watched probably 30 videos on this very topic. And every single one of them was like, you can use your phone. You don't have to use a camera. And then they'd pull out their awesome vlogging camera and they'd be like, but I use the Mark 7, whatever all the vloggers
YouTube
use.
Camera.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so what you're telling me is I need the good camera.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But all of the stuff that they said to get, I eventually bought it all. I did.
Yeah.
All of it.
Pretty much. Like I'm trying to think of what I haven't bought. that they recommended.
I don't know.
I feel like I kind of got the same messaging too, because number one, I like started buying equipment and stuff to start a YouTube channel before like I said, before I even published and produced my first video. And so, and I feel like I got the same messaging from a lot of the big YouTubers as well. Like, you don't need to have a big camera. You can use your phone, and that is all you need. And it's like, I don't know, like if you've ever like had an experience where like somebody's saying one thing, but all their energy and enthusiasm is telling you, get the big camera, invest. And so that's what I felt like I did. Like, I felt like, yeah, for me, I'm just somebody, I like to get the best that I can afford. And I'm not trying to look like foolish and stuff. Like at the time, I just thought that having like the crisper, cleaner, like, image or whatever would make a difference on my channel. And if I could just go back in time, I would just like shake myself a little bit and just be like, girl, like number one, at least see if you like being a YouTuber before you drop them kind of coins. And I would also just tell myself that, yes, it's nice to like get the complicated, more fancy stuff, but it comes at a price, and not just a financial price. And you might find that as a mom, that some of those things may not be a good fit for you because our lifestyles are a little bit different than somebody who's like actually doing this as a full-time job. So yeah.
Yeah. And there's the fact too that, like, I guess we'll dive into it later, but there are some things that I bought and then I realized that the thing that I already had worked just as well. And maybe there was like a 10% difference in quality.
Yeah.
I was like, really? This is a lot of money and a lot of learning new software or new gear just for a 10% increase. You know what I mean?
Right? Is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
So whenever you are trying to determine like what your go-to equipment is, like what your go-to stuff is, like what are some of the things that kind of go into your decision making? Like, because now both of us, we own kind of like some of the higher end stuff, and then we own like our phone, which is what everybody was saying that we should use, but not really. We still need the nice camera. Like, and just on a day-to-day basis, how do you decide like which one you're gonna grab? Like what goes into that decision? Convenience.
Yeah. So if I do, I often do sit down videos. And so I pull out my camera for that. I just have things organized right by my desk, so it's easy to grab everything. However, a lot of the time I'm filming stuff like I'll want B-roll or something. And I'm just in the moment. I'm like, this would be good B-roll. And I'll just pull out my phone because guess what? That's what's in my pocket. And then I'll just take my little video and guess what? It looks like almost the same as my camera, which is real annoying.
Girl.
But it's good too because it's so convenient. Just use your phone.
Yeah.
And then as far as like, it's funny because if I need like, I don't have one of those tripods for your phone, you know? So I'll just prop that thing up on books and let it go.
Yep.
You know, how about you?
I feel like that should be a piece of equipment that we talk about. Books. Good old-fashioned books.
I have it written down under.
Great. We're gonna talk about it. For me, I'm like, when it comes to equipment now, like I have options, right? I have like the high-end camera that I thought I needed. And then I was like, no, I need a pocket-sized high-end camera because I can't take this big thing, lug it outside. So I got that. I have my phone. So in terms of cameras, I have options. And the one that I always go back to is my phone, which we'll talk about a little bit more. But I think it just kind of highlights what I need as a mom. I need something that is pretty much always with me because it's annoying to be in the moment and be like, this is good footage, and then have to like run and go grab your camera. Meanwhile, my phone comes with me everywhere I go. I need something that's really quick to like pull out and set up. So sometimes like one of the beautiful things about having high-end equipment is that you can get very specific with how you want that shot to be focused, all that stuff. But sometimes I ain't got time. Like the moment's gone and I finally got my camera in the perfect settings and now the moment's gone. And so to me, I'm like, that's great. Like if you're a professional and you need that, but I'm like, for the average mom, for me, I don't need all that all the time. And sometimes I end up missing good shots because I don't have the settings right, or it takes me a little longer. So I need something that I can just whip out that's ready to go. And that's with me like everywhere. And so another thing is I need something that I don't mind my kids grabbing because most of the
Right.
time, I have toddlers, and most of the time they want to know what I'm doing. They want to like participate. They want to grab my stuff. And it feels some type of way to see your $700 camera hit the floor because your babies
Mhm.
wanted to help you record your video. And by babies, I like literally mean 1-year-olds. And so, whereas like my phone, like, it's a little annoying, but for the most part, it's pretty durable. And if
Mhm.
I have to replace it, it's not going to be to me as expensive as what I paid for my camera. And so, yeah, child friendly. There you go, durable and child friendly. Um, so whenever we're going through this, simple. I think I kind of mentioned simple. That kind of goes with the ease of being able to flip it out.
Mhm.
But as we go through this, we're definitely going to be very mom focused. Because as I mentioned before, I just feel like the needs of moms are going to just be a little different than people who have the time and space to just, this is like what they're doing all day. They don't have to like, not, I don't know everybody's life. I'm just saying the
Yeah.
people that I look to, it kind of seems like they have space and time to do this. Whereas me,
Mhm.
I'm trying to like squeeze it in my crazy hectic life. And so I feel like the needs of moms who are doing this on the go is going to be a little bit different. So
If not a flat out assistant. There are several YouTubers that I watch that they're like, and this is my assistant. I'm like, I will strangle you. And it's not because I'm mad at them. It's I just want to beat them. I'm
I
like,
want an
where is
assistant too.
my assistant?
Yes, please help me get these angles, girl.
Uh-huh.
I got time to move this camera 50 times. I just need somebody to do it for me. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, are we ready to dive back in?
Yes. So we're gonna start with number one. That's gonna be like camera stuff, like what we've bought and what our recommendations are for cameras. Is that what we're going with?
Yep.
All right. I kind of like hinted on mine. I don't think I need to go into it anymore. Do you want to tell us like your experience with cameras and kind of ultimately what you decided would be a good beginner camera for somebody who wants that good quality image,
Sure.
taking into consideration the light?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what I have, and then I'll tell you what I would have, knowing what I know now, what I would have purchased.
Okay.
So I obviously have my phone, which I film on a lot. I also have a GoPro, and I also have like a high end camera. I do love my camera. It's great. Um, and as I said, I use it for a lot of sit downs. But if I had to go back, I think I would just buy a GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
It's way more budget friendly. The shots are so clear and good, and it's very versatile. So I've used it like when I did a vlog when we were out in the lake, I used it then. And I've used it for like even cleaning. Like I put it in the bottom of my shower when I was cleaning the shower, and I had that shower shot.
One of my favorite shots, by
I
the way.
kid
I just
you
feel like I
not,
had to
like
interject.
7 people commented on that shot.
I still remember that shot. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, angles for days. Okay, sorry
Angles
to
for
interrupt
days.
you.
I like did a shot where I was juicing, and I cleaned my camera really good and put it in the bottom of the juicer.
I
And I
remember
mean,
that one.
there's so
So
many
good.
and like when you use your GoPro and you use it for like the things where it can get wet, basically, that's when people are like, what?
Yeah.
Or you can hang it anywhere. Like it's so versatile. It has all of these different, you can buy like the attachment kits. Like I've sectioned it to the outside of my house when I was showing how I was cleaning the
I
outside of
remember
my
that one
windows
too.
from the second floor. And it was like I think it was like $350 for the
Mhm.
GoPro Hero Black. So that is what I would definitely buy. Like you can use that thing all day long. So for me, like if we are gonna consider like budget and high end, budget is my phone, high
Mhm.
end is my camera, and then right smack nicely in the middle is the GoPro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that goes to show like how memorable those shots are. Cause Sarah, I've watched like pretty much all of your videos for the last year. And for me to remember precisely what you're talking about just shows like how memorable those shots were. They were so good. Like, I think I must have had like a visceral reaction, like when I saw it, like, oh my God, so cool. So
yeah, it's so fun to watch because especially if you make content, you like geek out when you see what other people are doing that's cool. I always do that. If I find something that someone did, I'm like, how did they do that?
so cool.
So cool.
Yeah. Let me try to think. Okay, if I have anything to add to that. No, I think for me, it's the phone,
Yeah.
which I kind of mentioned before. That's what I go to. I got a new phone recently. That image quality is on point. It's a OnePlus, and so it's a significant improvement from my last phone. And once I moved over to this phone, like I just don't even bother my camera. Like my camera is just collecting dust somewhere because I really don't have a reason to like mess with it. It's just too cumbersome. And so if I could go back and tell myself like, I would just tell myself to hold on. Like you don't have to have like the big camera and like the best, whatever you can afford for this. Like literally just make it work with your phone. And it's really super convenient, and it's just going to be kind of like a really kid friendly option, a really fast option. So I would just tell myself to keep it simple in that regard.
Yeah. All right. What about gear?
Okay. So for gear, do you want me to talk about some of the things I've invested in? And the same thing, like what I would tell myself too if I had to rebuy it?
Yeah, but can we talk about it, kind of compare our lighting situation? And like maybe I just am curious about what you have versus what I have, what you use versus what I use.
Okay, so when I started my channel, some of the first investments that I made in terms of lighting were these big softbox things. And so I just feel like I hardly use them. I thought I was going to use them all the time so that I can look like glorious, like an angel descending down from heaven whenever I make my YouTube videos, but they're just too much work. It's too cumbersome and I just don't feel like doing it. And unfortunately, I don't have like a set place in my house where I can just keep them ready at all times. And then the second thing that I bought was a ring light, which turns out that if you have glasses, they're kind of difficult to work with, because if you try to stare right into a ring light with glasses, then people watching your video will know that you're looking at a ring light, because there's going to be a awful circle glare in your glasses. And so I've learned some tricks to work with that. But what I've been using recently, y'all, is really trifling, are some pretty much some lamps. And I've taken the head off of the lamps. And the reason I use it is because I work online where I have to have like good lighting. I teach, and that's pretty much what they trained us to use. And I'm just realizing like, it's just so easy and convenient and it's just like right there. And honestly, the best thing to have for me is sunlight. But if I can't get it, some good old fashioned lamps. If I could go back and slap myself, I would just be like, girl, get you some lamps, take the heads off. I even have like a daylight bulb in there. So it's not like a traditional like bulb that has, what is it? Tungsten. It's a daylight. It's like a very bright daylight color bulb, and it gets the job done. So that's what I'm using. What about you? What have you tried and what are you using?
I did the same thing. I got the soft boxes. I got a ring light. The ring light fell apart really fast for me, and it wasn't cheap either. And like you said, if you can get natural light, that is every single time it's going to look better. However, like when the days are gloomy, that's when I really kind of, or if I have to record at night, that's when I reach for the lights. But if you're watching this on the replay, on my left-hand side, I have like a soft box, and on my right-hand side, I have a lamp. So
you can't even tell
the difference. Let me know.
So evenly lit. Yeah, beautiful.
And that's another thing about the soft boxes, which is so aggravating, is so they're on the long tripod stands, and those fall over really easily.
So
and
true.
Those bulbs crash into 5,000 particles everywhere.
Oh my God, you had a bulb that cracked?
2.
Oh my God.
Shattered.
Oh my God.
Just because like the dog wagged its tail.
Yeah.
So if it's not like, if you are going to get them, I do like them a lot if you have the time to like pull them out. But right now, the reason I have a lamp to my right side is because I've broken two of the bulbs that came in
Yeah.
my 3-pack of lights.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
and then I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to use this lamp and that's not gonna be as good. And guess
Mm,
what? It has been.
it's working.
And also, those bulbs are really expensive to replace. It's like $40 for two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see. I haven't even used mine enough to know yet.
Yeah.
Replace it.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay, well that's good to know because like that. I mean, to me, I have had the experience with them like tumbling over very easily, and with
Mhm.
my toddlers who like to grab and swing on everything. That
Oh,
just
yeah.
wouldn't work out. So it's good
No.
to know. Thank you for giving me a heads up because I mean, I didn't realize it would be like that. So,
Oh, it's like that. Yeah.
girl, I need to
Well,
figure out a purpose because they just sitting here looking at me and I'm just like feeling some type of way that I spent money on this because I thought I needed it. I need to find a way to use them because
you'll use them at some point, I'm sure.
I guess we'll
There's
see.
gonna come a day.
Yeah, when my kids are like grown and I can have like a YouTube studio.
Yeah.
But
Very
until then,
exciting.
you don't need it when you're starting. Just get you some
No.
good sunlight and get your light bulb. You're gonna be all
Mhm.
right. And I do like the idea, even in my office, I have a light bulb to my left and a light bulb to my right.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't, for especially glasses wearers, I wouldn't do like the direct, like right in front of your face type of situation. Just have one to the left, have one to the right. So you don't have that glare
Exactly.
in your face. So,
And honestly, I think even if you're not wearing glasses, if you have your light straight on, sometimes it does weird things with shadows.
mhm.
And like, for instance, if you're holding your phone in front of your face and the light is in front of your face, it's going to have a shadow. If
Mhm.
you put it on either side of you, you can hold your whatever device you're using to record right in front of your face, and no
Yeah.
one will be able to like tell. So,
Ooh, see, good to know. Good to
you know,
know.
all right. What about tripods? What do you use?
So in terms of tripods, I feel like I've tried like a couple different things. Number one, we kind of hinted at this earlier, or did we? I don't know. But books, good old
Books, yeah.
books, like just stack them up and they gets the job done. Okay. And
Yeah.
then I bought this Amazon tripod thing. I think it's like 60 inches tall. And that thing, it's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But it has turned out to be a much bigger headache than I thought it was going to be. And now it has broken like a piece, like the thing that attaches to the camera so you can do the quick release thing. So I'm going to replace it, but I don't even know because I feel like that thing has caused me so much drama. It's so much hassle. And it just annoys me anytime like you don't get it perfectly right. You have all the adjusting like has annoyed me. And so the last thing that I use as a tripod are like the handheld ones that do all the bendy tricks. And then also just a good old fashioned selfie stick that has legs that spreads out. That sounds really awful. Okay, sorry.
It's late.
Heck, what would I talk about? The thing that I find that I'm using the most often is the tripod with the bendy legs. I don't know. I think it's just easier to like adjust it. Like when I'm like running around trying to get stuff done, I have my toddlers. It's easy for me to swoop it up and like talk to the camera, and it's easy for me to like quickly toss it somewhere. It's also really cool when you can like wind it around something, like if you have like an untraditional surface. So to me, that's my favorite, and that's the one I'm using the most right now. What about you?
I have one of those bendy handheld tripods too, and I don't know if mine just sucks or what, but I don't really like using it. For one thing, my camera is like, it's a heavier camera.
Yeah.
And so if I try to use it to like bend around something, it won't keep the shot still. It'll like slowly fall down.
Sure.
And then on different surfaces, like the legs, the bottom of the legs have these little rubber stoppers, but they'll slowly slide out. And it might be just because my camera is big, but
yeah.
I use books a lot. I have a nice tripod. That's what I use mostly if that's what I use only if I'm using my camera. And I really love my tripod. Like I can set everything up on books, or I can like level it somehow. but it is a headache for me. Like it's doable, but it's a headache. Whereas if you have a good tripod, you can not only like get the height right, but you can like move the head all around so that it's like just perfect. So I like that a lot. And then I was telling Lede earlier, I just bought a gimbal for my phone since I am just using my phone so much to record, but I haven't used it enough to be able, I haven't used it at all yet. So have to tell you later how that works.
I would love to know the name of your tripod because I'm in the market for one. So I would love after this podcast, if you would just please DM me with the deets, please.
I will.
Yeah, because I just
anything
that can make my life easier and make it quicker for me to pop out content. Like that's what I need in my life. So
I love it. It's a good one.
Yeah.
What about microphones for like voiceovers for those of you who do voiceovers?
Yes. Oh, I don't know why I'm getting so excited.
I don't either.
Okay, do you want to go first on this one?
Okay, I'll go first because I think my opinion is different than yours. So I have like the earbuds that come with the iPhone. I used that for a while. And then since Lede and I were doing a podcast, I bought this the Blue Yeti mic that's like $100. And I forgot to plug in the Yeti one day that we were doing our podcast, and I just ended up using my earbuds. It didn't sound that different.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
I was pretty devastated.
Yeah.
But it does sound good. So if you want to go for it, I would say go for it. However, the earbuds work, whatever comes with your phone that's like free, that has the little microphone. I feel like that works for voiceovers quite well.
Yeah.
You love your Yeti.
Girl, this Yeti is my baby. Oh, this is my baby. I love this Yeti so much. But if you're starting, I wouldn't start there. I wouldn't feel like the need to do that before you start your first YouTube video. These are all the things I've tried. Personally, I've tried the headphone thing. I don't have the AirPod things, but just like, you know, the headphones that have like the little mic by the mouth, and that was good enough. It wasn't great. Like I go back and listen to some of my old videos and I'm like, that's not it. But like it gets the job done without you having to spend an arm and a leg. Another thing that I've tried was like, I've actually bought like a little lapel mic to like clip on my shirt. And to me, that was just a little dramatic and it just added like an extra step. So I wouldn't suggest that. If I could go back, I wouldn't even go down that path. I mean, I might, you know, pull her back out one day, but to me, it tends to be too much work for me to just have like one more wire to worry about. So another thing that I've tried is I actually had like a voice recorder. My husband had one and I just took it from him. I think I just used it once. I liked it. Yeah, it was okay. And then the next thing is a phone. Like, yeah, my phone has like voice recording apps as well. And sometimes it's just like the proximity to your mouth can enhance the audio of your video. So like if your camera is like across the room, having something a little closer to your mouth, like a phone, can just give you a little more of a crisp sound. And so it is like an extra step to go through when you're editing to align everything. But once you align it, you can just kind of join those two elements. And then it's really easy to edit. So that's a good way to improve your audio. But yes, I too have the Yeti Blue, the Blue Yeti. That's my baby. Like I didn't realize what my world was missing until I got one. And like to me, like it's not inconvenient. Like it's just so nice. And I could tell the difference on the audio. Like I feel like I don't have to like shout.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I could literally just be so like in such a mellow mood and it catches everything. It's so crisp. But for somebody just starting, don't do it. No, like invest in some other stuff first, like, and then get your little microphone later. So I wouldn't, because I feel like, okay, like when I'm recording like a voiceover, I don't use my Yeti for, I mean, not a voiceover. I use my Yeti for voiceovers. And the only reason I got it is for podcasting purposes. But when I'm like recording like a sit down video, I don't use the Yeti.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
Like for sit down videos. So that's why I'm like, I wouldn't rush into the Yeti quite yet.
But I used to do voiceovers quite a lot. And I thought, man, if I had a microphone, it would probably make it sound so much better. And I like it. It does sound better, but just to me, it's not huge.
Not worth the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
it was $100 I could have saved for later.
Oh, I love this
for books
so much. This is my baby.
You know, before we move on, another thing that I thought about is the Rode mic. If you have like the external microphone for your camera, is that worthwhile? And my answer is only if you're outside and if you have the like wind cap that goes on it or the dead cat.
Ooh, I didn't even know that was the name of it. I don't even know.
It's a horrible name. Thing. I think it's dead cat, but the little fuzzy thing that goes to like prevent the like the wind and stuff from making all the interference with your audio, that thing works really well. Because when you and I recorded those videos in the park, it was so windy that day and you couldn't really hear it.
Are you really? Oh, wow.
So to me, I thought if I ever go outside, like, which I don't usually, but if I do, I'm bringing that thing along, but otherwise I don't use it.
Good to know. I feel like I have a fuzzy thing for my microphone, but I don't anticipate this Blue Yeti leaving this desk. So but I used to have a Rode mic. In fact, my camera was like a set. It was like a camera and a Rode mic kind of combination, and it stopped working. Like, so I don't know, like what happened with that. I don't know if that was like a issue with my camera or if that was an issue with my mic, but I don't know. I would Google to make sure other people don't have them problems. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. So
yeah. Okay, we have some like random stuff next.
Oh, I just have just the point on external hard drive. Is that where you're going? Is that where you're going?
Yep.
Ish. Okay.
Yeah, it is called a dead cat, by the way.
A dead cat. That's awful. I had no idea this whole time.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say in terms of gear, this is point 2 still. I just wanted to briefly talk about external hard drives for people who are starting their YouTube channels. And if you need one, I feel like external hard drives are helpful because sometimes the footage that you get whenever you're recording videos could be quite lengthy. It can be quite heavy for your computer. So it is nice to have a place outside of your computer to put all your footage so that it's not slowing down your computer, slowing down the editing and all that stuff. But if I could go back and talk to myself about that, I've invested in some pretty high capacity external hard drives. And I would tell myself, don't do that crap. Save your money, number one, and just know that if you have kids and you drop that thing, like goodbye to all that footage. Like it's not worth it. If you have to get one, oh gosh, sorry guys, that was my phone. If you have to get one, I would just say keep it pretty moderate because you don't want to put too much of your life jewels on those things because they are not reliable if you drop them. What I've been using lately is the cloud, Google Photos. So Google Photos now holds my stuff up in the clouds. And then when I need it, I will bring it down to my computer. I will edit. And then when I'm done, I will send it back up to the cloud. So that's what I'm doing right now because I've just been burned. Like I've lost so much footage recently over a dropped external hard drive. So I'm just a little bitter right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've been in that place too. Like I think I've gone through 4 external hard drives because here's the thing. Lydia and I both use Final Cut Pro to edit. And I think with all editing software, but especially Final Cut Pro has so many bells and whistles that it is like a crazy drain on your computer. And if you use an external hard drive, it will actually speed up the process. It'll speed it up as it's transferring to YouTube, all that kind of thing. It really does help. However, the same thing has happened to me. I've like been very careful with them even. And I got one that was like a rugged one, and that one was good. It was only 1 gigabyte, and that does not work for me because it was 1 terabyte. And that's like not even enough for me because I have so much stuff. this, if I had to pick two things to buy to start my YouTube channel, it would be the GoPro and also a solid state external drive.
Mm-hmm.
And the solid state is just a little bit different than your typical external hard drive. I really don't want to go into details because I don't understand them very well, but basically it's not as fragile. It is faster. There's a faster transfer rate. So I have bought one. It's like twice as expensive as a regular external hard drive, but it has saved me so much in headaches.
Oh, like in terms for durability alone, like to me, it's worth it to get like it's just so painful to like, to put so much time into like capturing footage and so like your child's memories. Like maybe you have some memories of your family there just to see it all go. So to me, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And it's something I said I was going to look into it. I've been just enjoying the cloud right now.
Do the cloud, do whatever works.
But I feel like it's nice to have one. It's nice to have. Yeah.
It's 4 terabytes.
Oh my God. I like it.
So tiny.
But I think it's nice to have because you never know. Because for me, the photos does a good job with photos and videos, but I still have like documents and stuff. This is kind of off topic that still need a place to go because I'm not paying for Google storage quite yet. I'm not there yet. So, but yeah, so thanks for telling us about that. That's really helpful.
And then as far as other gear, I just thought it was worth mentioning, but I edit on my laptop and I have a little multi-port adapter. And with that adapter, it has like a slot for an SD card. It has a bunch of Ethernet cables, and then there's also an HDMI cord. So a lot of times when I'm editing, I will plug it into the TV so that I can like don't hurt my old lady eyes. So that's what I use. And then I also have a laptop adjustable stand, which this thing has been awesome because it can be totally flat or it can extend up to, I guess, probably about 10 inches. And then it has a little hole for the laptop to breathe so your laptop doesn't overheat, if any of you know that problem. But those are just my little small mentions.
As soon as we get off of here, I'm going to go look up that laptop table setup thing because that's what I need in my life right now. So
yeah.
And for me to kind of go along with this whole theme of just things that are easy and convenient for moms, I just likes to edit on the couch. Like after it's been a long day, like I'm tired. I'm not trying to sit at the computer. So that's nice too, that because I have a problem with the overheating thing too. And I'm just in a position where I just want to be on the couch. So I think I need one. So
yeah. Okay. Are we ready for software?
Yes. Let's move on to software, please.
Okay. I have to tell my story of I have a MacBook right now. But before I got that, I was just editing off of an old PC laptop. And the trials and tribulations of finding good software for that dumb thing were numerous. Like I bought 2 different software programs and returned them for that laptop just because I felt like they were very glitchy and didn't work very well. And then I finally decided I'm going to just edit on my phone because I found this app called KineMaster and KINE Master. And it is so good and so easy. I would like whip out editing a video so fast. So I did use KineMaster on my phone. I think it's like $5 a month. Then when I got my laptop, I had iMovie on there, which I have used before, and it's very user-friendly. It's an easy program. There aren't like a ton of different things that you can do with it, but it's still like it works. It does the thing. But my laptop came with like, I had an education bundle that had Final Cut Pro and all kinds of other stuff in it. And Final Cut Pro is what I use now. And I love her so much. The learning curve was so steep. I don't know. That was like weeks of working on it before I felt comfortable, if not like a month. But those are my software editing saga. What about you? What did you start with?
Okay. So when I was in college, many years ago. I used iMovie, but when it came time for me to be like, okay, I'm starting a YouTube channel, for some reason, I just felt I was above and beyond iMovie. I needed to be in there with the big dogs. Y'all learn from my mistakes. Learn from so I did my first, I'm pretty sure I got Final Cut Pro, like if not before starting my YouTube channel, pretty quickly afterwards, because I realized I was watching a lot of editing videos and I realized that I just wanted more functionality than I could get with iMovie. So I didn't really give iMovie a chance. And the crazy part is, now that I know how to use Final Cut Pro a little better, I'm realizing that the things that I thought I was missing in iMovie, like those features are actually there. You just have to like kind of do some research, and there may be some non-traditional paths to getting there, but it's doable. And I didn't know that. And so yeah, Final Cut Pro. Even now, I've been using Final Cut Pro now for what, like almost 2 years. And sometimes I feel like I've wasted money because like there are so many things that can be done on Final Cut Pro. And I feel like for me to produce a basic video, I feel like I've learned a lot and I know a lot about how to use it, but I feel like there's still like 90% of stuff, like a capacity that this thing can do. I just don't know how to do. Like, it's just crazy to think that this is professional editing software and I can do the basics. I can, create a video, do layers, do music, do some cool effects. But I'm like, there's just so much to it that I don't know and that I don't need to know. And so for me, I'm just like, have been really getting into some other apps lately. I feel like that's not really related. I've gotten into some other apps lately just because of the thing I mentioned before. I'm kind of like, at the end of the day, that's kind of when I have the opportunity to edit and I'm tired and I want to sit down somewhere. And I feel like I've been trying to use a lot of discipline to like show up at the computer, do my editing, but I've been looking for like ways to edit mobilely. Oh, especially since this Corona thing, like, and when my energy is just so zapped up. And so what I've invested in is a program called Power Director I got that on my Android, and I'm trying to remember if it was like 50 or $60 for a year. And that's one I've really been enjoying. I tried KineMaster and for some reason it was confusing to me. Like I just used the free version and it wasn't like as crisp or as easy or user-friendly to me as I hoped that it would be. But Power Director,
the free one's not. If
yeah,
you
the
pay
free
for
one,
it, yeah, that unlocks a lot of tools. Yeah.
Okay, well, good to know.
Yeah.
I was just like, am I like stupid or what? Like, because this is like what everybody's recommending and I am lost. And so that's why, because I was cheap. And so but I invested in Power Director. And so a lot of the features that I just wanted the ability to like do multiple layers. I wanted to have the ability to do what's that called? The Luma thing where you could do like the green screen effect. So Power Director can do a lot of stuff, which I think is really cool. So if I need to edit on my phone, I can do that. I recently got a tablet, and another program that I've been using is Luma Fusion. And this is $30. It's a one-time thing. I've edited one video on there and I completely loved the experience. Like for me, it took like a bit of a learning curve. I had to watch like a couple of videos and actually do it myself for me to learn it. But to me, I'm just like, it has everything I need. Like it has everything I need, if not more. And it's it's 90% cheaper than Final Cut Pro. This was $30. Final Cut Pro cost me over $300. And like I said, most of the functionality I will probably never use. I'm not interested in learning how to do everything on there. But I'm like, this Luma Fusion has exactly what I need, $30, one-time pay. And it's really good. Like it's a really good software. So if I could go back and tell myself, I didn't have an iPad when I started, but I would tell myself, spend that $300 on an iPad, girl, and get you some Luma Fusion. That's what I would tell myself. Like, don't even try it. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Sometimes I think that like the idea of something is so enticing. And so we're like, oh, this is the way it has to look for this idea to work. But then when you do something in practice, you realize like, oh, this is really annoying.
Yeah. Like kind of as I mentioned before, the whole theme of this is like, if you spend 8 hours a day or more like editing videos and you're in a traditional office looking setting and like this is your job, it makes sense to have like something like, you know, some of the traditional, for me, for my life, the traditional, you know, things that you would do on a computer. It makes sense to invest, especially if you have a team of people who know how to use all the functionalities of the program. But I'm like, for me, like the way my life is set up, like I just don't need all of that. Like I need things that are just convenient that I can do, like right as I'm watching TV with my husband. Like that's our bonding thing now. Like I'm editing and he's watching TV, and like that's what I mean. And it's just, it works a little easier into my life. And so if I get wreck, I'd be like, girl, save that coin, save it.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, so the fourth category is subscription services. I've had a lot of these.
Yeah.
I've held and let go of a lot of things.
You want to go first on this one, or you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
I don't have so many. I feel like your stories are going to be more interesting than mine. Like with the subscription. How about I just say what because it's going to be really short. So like subscriptions for me, I did the free YouTube music for a long time. And then I just realized it was just faster for me to get Epidemic Sound. So I have that for $15. And if I could tell myself from the beginning if I recommend it or not, I would tell myself to do the free stuff first and see if you even like being a YouTuber. Your channel might not even require a lot of different types of music. If you can have a channel that does good with just a couple of songs, do the free stuff first. But if you like to vary your stuff up, then it's totally worth moving over to Epidemic Sound just for convenience. I would tell myself to do that. TubeBuddy is a must. I'm paying $4.50, even though I think it's supposed to go up to $9 right now. It's supposed to be $9 for the basic, but if you have less than 1,000, it's half price. And I think they forgot to raise the price on mine. So I'm still paying a nice little $4.50, and it's so worth it for analytic purposes. It just makes life a little easier when you're picking out your keywords and stuff. I also have PicMonkey, which I like to use for editing my thumbnails, but I don't know. I've come up on some new stuff lately that I'm learning through my iPad that I haven't quite mastered yet. But once I do, PicMonkey might not be around for much longer. And then I bought a program to get some additional like transitions and titles and lower third things or whatever. And so, and that was just a one-time purchase. So it's not really a subscription. So I don't know if it really fits here. So that's
what
it.
What's that one called?
See, girl, I don't know. I was trying to look it up.
Oh, okay.
All I know is it starts with the letter M. Maybe I'll put it in the description. Like, but I don't know.
Was it Motion Array?
Yeah, it's Motion something. Motion, what's it called?
Motion Array?
No, it's not Array, but it's something Motion. Motion something. I know it starts with the M. And it's just like some just fun ways to play with titles and stuff. Just because I've just decided for me, it is worth spending money to like save me some brain energy. Like I do not have to be a professional editor. Like I don't know what I was thinking when I first started. I do not have to be a professional. Like if it's possible to pay somebody to like do some of this stuff for me, like I'm just to that point right now. So anyway, that's why I bought that, and I'm okay with the purchase, but definitely something I wouldn't recommend you starting off with. Like just do the basics first. And there's like YouTube, there's tutorials on how to do some of that stuff for free. It might take you like a little more effort, but I wouldn't worry about it. So that's my saga with subscriptions. Not very interesting. Right. Hit us with it. Boom.
Okay, so I've used Canva and PicMonkey too. I prefer PicMonkey just a tiny bit, but I actually just canceled the service. I'm going to just use the free Canva for a little while. And I don't know, I've heard different people using like software that they already have to create thumbnails. And so I'm going to look into that because I'm just trying to like streamline the things that I'm actually paying for. So then I pretty immediately got Epidemic Sound. So if you're on a budget, you can use SoundCloud, or YouTube has royalty-free music that you can use. But I hated both of those options because they're very annoying. It's hard to figure out how to download. I heard a lot of stories about people getting copyright strikes because of that. So I didn't want to mess with that. And I quickly went to Epidemic Sound, which I cannot say enough good about that service. It is so, so good. It's $15 a month, like Lede said. And it has sound effects. You can like group your music into genres or moods or tempo. It's incredible. It's a huge library as well. So you're like, they add new things constantly. So you don't really run into the same songs over and over. So I just stopped paying for Epidemic actually. And I've moved over to Thematic. Hello, Thematic. And it is a free music service right now because they're still in their beta stage. It's really good. It's not nearly as much music as Epidemic, but it is free. And the music that they do have is very quality. I stand behind it. I love it. They're expanding every day. And I know at some point I'm going to have to start paying for it. But right now I'm like super happy with that. Then also, as far as like editing tools, like Lede was talking about the Motion whatever that does titles and intros and things like that. I first paid for Envato Elements. I used that for a couple of months because it has like, you know, those incredible like openers or trailers or like the little subscription bell and the little things that you can overlay on your video to show like what your social media accounts are. I always wondered where you could get that stuff, and Envato Elements has that. It is $17 a month, and I just thought that was really good. I stopped using it after a while because again, streamlining, but there's also Motion Array, which is $30 a month. And what I will say about Motion Array is if you stop subscribing to that service, you can no longer use any of the titles or elements that you downloaded from their website, which is crazy. Like you can't even, that would mean you'd have to go back to all your videos and like, yeah.
Even Epidemic Sound is not that bad. Like
I know.
Once you cancel like everything you've done before, like you can
It's
keep
fine.
this.
Yeah.
You have to go back and edit your videos.
That's what they're trying to say. I'm not doing it.
That's not. No.
I've used a couple of things and I'm not changing it. But
no, that's ridiculous.
But with Envato, which is like half the price, that was not the case. Whatever you downloaded while you had that subscription, that was licensed to you. So I would not recommend Motion Array.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And then for analytics, there's TubeBuddy and vidIQ. I'm sure there's other stuff, but those are the two big ones. I've used both of them. I've used all the levels for both of them, except I think that there's a license for like multiple channels, and I haven't used that one. I was like a vidIQ girl all the way. I loved that service for a long time. And then I realized that TubeBuddy has this ability to like build your entire video with SEO and like the right hashtags to use. It will score you. Like for instance, if you want your video to be about like cleaning the master bedroom, you can put those 3 keywords into TubeBuddy, into this little section. If you're paying for the first level, which is like Lede said, $4.50 for people with under 1,000 subscribers and only $9 after that, unless they forget about you. But you basically can, with that one, you can put cleaning the master bedroom, and then it will walk you through selecting your tags. It will walk you through writing your description and your title, and it will start scoring you based on what you're putting in. Like it'll show you if like, don't use those keywords, or if it likes what you're writing, it'll start scoring you higher. So I love that thing. So I'm TubeBuddy all the way.
Yeah.
So I stopped. The only thing I use vidIQ for is I have the free service so that I can see how many subscribers people have. Otherwise, I just use that TubeBuddy.
I forgot to mention that I did vidIQ as well. And I thought I was going to be vidIQ all the way too. And then I like TubeBuddy a little bit better. I don't even use all those features that you talked about. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there. That TubeBuddy's pretty good.
vidIQ does like a very alarming thing to you. They're like, So if you pay, I think it's like $40 a month, 40 or $50 a month, they have like this thing where they say they're going to boost your video, and they say it'll boost it 3 times your normal average like watch rate or whatever. And so that gets in your head. Like that's still in my head. I'm like, should I go back?
I just forgot about
IQ?
that. Yeah.
Because it boosts me.
I don't know if it really boosts. Does it do anything or it just helps you with SEO?
I think it did help a little.
Okay.
Honestly, a little. But then when you go, it's like, are you sure? We're going to have like, why don't you just have a free consultation with one of our vidIQ specialists to check out your channel? And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just see what they have to say. You know, maybe they can explain this whole thing to me better. So I set an appointment time and they canceled.
I was just going to ask you, how did that go? And they never rescheduled?
Nope.
Did you reach back out to them to be like, hey, you're not, what happened? I want to do this still. Oh, but they got your money though for another month or so.
No, I had already canceled, but they were like, let's set it up. You know, I'm assuming they thought that I would like change my mind, but anyway, I wish they would have just to like see what had happened.
I would have loved to have known about like, I'm sure it would have just been to get you all juiced up and excited to sign back up. But I'd be very curious to hear what type of information they have.
You can set up an appointment with vidIQ at any time for a free consultation if you pay for any of their services.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of cool unless they cancel on you.
No way. Are you serious? So you could have like every week, hey.
Okay. No, it's one.
Just a one time.
Yeah.
I did vidIQ for like 2 or 3 months. I wish I didn't know about that. That's good to know.
And because it's not like they're going to revolutionize your channel, but I like kind of want to go back for a month just to like see if they could explain it to me better or like give me some insight that I don't know, because I know that there's a lot that you can do with both vidIQ and TubeBuddy that I probably was just scratching the surface. So
yeah.
Anyway, all the things that we don't know make me very unsettled. Like there's one piece of information that if I know it, it's going to skyrocket me.
Successful.
Exactly.
It's a bit, it's like I'm learning the more you know, the more you realize you don't know nothing. Like
yeah, or the more questions you have.
Deep hole. Like yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. So that's about it. I'm sure we'll remember 1 or 2 things later. I probably will, but those are all the notables.
Yeah. I think for me, for little Day, just to summarize everything, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. If you want to be consistent, don't let equipment and software and all this stuff that everybody makes you feel like you have to have be a stumbling block, because it really can. It can slow you down. It can make you a little less efficient. So just keep it simple, because that's what's most realistic for, when I say I'm talking little Day for your life right now. And that's what's going to help you be consistent, is just having a simplified system in place. And maybe a time will come where I can have a YouTube dedicated studio and I can have my flashy camera set up and flashy box lights and my flashy microphone and all that stuff. But right now in this season, it's not it. And so don't let feeling like you need to have that stuff stop you from getting started. So that's my message to little Day.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I'm just going to add on to that you think that these different things are going to make the difference between your failure and success. And that is a big fat lie. If you can make sure that your video is not shaking all the time, and even stupid huge vloggers have their cameras shaking all the time. So like, it's not even just, but people have less forgiveness for when you're starting out. Yeah. But if you can make sure that your camera is steady, that you are in good light, and that when you edit, you're mindful of your sound, that your sound stays the same, whether it's your music or your voice audio throughout the whole video, that it stays the same. There aren't like these jumps. All of a sudden your music comes on and people's ears are like shattered. If you could do those 3 things, you're going to produce very good quality content. and it's going to be enough to help you
for shizzle.
get where you want to go.
Gosh, so I wasn't gonna say for shizzle anymore.
Well,
I just can't help it. It just pops out. Darn it. Okay. Here we go. So, yay! I feel like I hope that this episode will save some people money in these streets. Yeah.
So much money. And just a headache, because every single thing that you buy, there is a learning curve to it. So, like, I don't know about you guys, but I have had many mental breakdowns trying to figure something out. And every 5 seconds, a kid is coming up to me like, Mom, I'm hungry.
Gosh.
Mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am too old to learn all of this, and I'm trying. And you're just like very much distracting me. So,
oh my gosh.
Mental salvation to not do all this.
Gosh, it's the truth. It is the truth. Like, it is so hard sometimes to just get like a moment to concentrate on something, especially like new technology, new equipment, new editing software, because like you're right. When you're a mom, like it's really hard sometimes to create those extended moments of peace. When I was in college and I had my whole day to myself, then sure, why not learn all the things? But now I have to be very selective about what I'm going to learn and where I just need to keep it simple. Like, and so. Yeah,
totally.
For sure.
Well, if you're listening to this and there's something that you've used that you've loved that we haven't mentioned, or that you've used and you've hated that we haven't mentioned, put it in the comments just for anybody who wants to, like, I feel like we can learn so much from each other. So throw it in the comment section. Yeah. Do we have any call to action?
I feel like
learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, that's it. I feel like, just to reiterate, keep it simple. I'm gonna keep my call to action simple, just to simplify the message. Keep it simple.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna sleepy.
Okay, well, it's been wonderful to talk with you, Lede, and this has been such a fun topic.
I like this topic too. Yay.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoy it, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.